All right. So, starting the show in 3, 2, 1.
Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
All right, that's weird. It there was like it gradually got longer and longer, displaced from the actual audio. So I think there was like a 5-second janky. Oh, it was actually worse than normal. Great, fabulous.
I actually heard it. I heard it stop on Discord, and then it started on YouTube.
Weird. Well, yeah, you heard because I'm playing it here, but anyways.
I know, yeah. But
Welcome to Boards and Swords, everybody. This is the podcast where we've got bad jokes. Check. We got good folks. I'm here with Mr. Philip Herpig, so check. And then we got some tabletop games. So how is it going, Philip?
What's going on, everybody?
So
welcome to this July 3rd episode.
Happy Independence Day, a day early for those here. Philip, what's going on?
They can take away our land, but they can never take away our Independence Day.
Sounds like the audio was being played
mashup
through
video.
a fan. Great, just what I need. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's too. Maybe the file's too big and it's getting compressed. Who knows?
That's what she said.
By the way,
Maybe we did pipe the sound through a fan, like when you were a kid and you would just do this at the
now I'm thinking Tommy
fan.
Boy, where he's like, "Luke, I am your father." Wow. But yeah, I got all thrown off. Oh yeah, so hey Philip, this is supposed to be an oddball stream. Why are we doing a podcast right now?
Because in true Boards and Swords fashion, we podcast when we want.
Well, the real story is I was in New Jersey last week, so
You were in Jersey.
yeah, for like
You didn't pump your own gas, did you?
I did not get gas in Jersey.
Oh, okay, smart man.
I had a rental car that was like it was a what did I have? A Camry, which is funny because Ashley's been wanting me to test drive a Camry forever, but I got to drive one of the new ones. Thing was hella good on gas. I got to up in Jersey and back, and I only needed like one. I only had to fill up once on the way back.
All right, nice.
But yeah, I had work stuff, and we don't really have it set up yet. We probably should get to the point where like you could stream it on your side, considering you have the granddaddy super duper computer, so that I could just take my computer and
I do got to tell you, man, my Netflix looks crisp on this monitor. And
well, when I turn the TV off, the TV looks crisp because it's like the reflection.
I don't have the button.
That's right. My soundboard is back working again.
Hey!
Which means that it's time for some news.
I was almost with it, but I started laughing. I think I was right there with
This first story gives new meaning to the term card draw, and that is a Pokemon card drawn by a second grader just sold for a record-breaking $25,000. This is just like this was just a good wholesome story that I thought I needed to put in. So
a little feel-good story for a little kid.
So apparently they make okay, so never mind, this is older than what I thought. I thought this was recent. So it was originally created for a contest in a dozen children's magazines across Japan by publishing company Shogakukan in 2009. The competition invited children from kindergarten age up to 12th grade to draw and submit artwork for either spiky-eared Pichu or Arceus as part of this promotion around the movie release Arceus and the Jewel of Life. One winner from each group was selected, with the winning design turned into a real Pokemon card. And then this one, that was the winner in the second grade bracket, was sold for $25,000, which is like the most expensive Pichu card. So like,
Oh, nice.
if this was made in 2009, then that means the person, Chris does math, and so he's, like they said, he was probably like 7 or 8. So nowadays, that would be
So 10 is 19.
like 23.
Yeah, 10 is 19. 23 is 14. So 14 extra years. So if you're 7 years old, 21.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, 21. You're 20 years old, and you probably didn't even see a drop of that because it was probably sitting in somebody's.
God no. Or,
But
no, it was one of those like buried in the ridiculous fine print that you need an electron microscope to read that you gave away all rights to. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look how adorable that is, though. It's got like flowers all over it.
Oh, that is kind of awesome. And you scroll down a little further, graded 10.
Ooh.
Gem mint grade 10.
Not even the One Ring cod that got that.
Which we will get to later.
All right. So get back to this. So I had an idea for a new magic item. It's a staff that turns water into soda. You could call it a Coke cane. There's a Cocaine Bear tabletop RPG coming. There's so
about time.
That's the best part about the news piece here is I can just throw in the random stuff that I find or that comes across my feeds. And so
this is so great.
I need to send this to Heather because this has her written all over it. Cocaine Bear
honestly.
tabletop RPG based on the Honey
Just
Heist
put it
system.
in the chat and everyone is going to go nuts.
I can do that. It should be in the show notes, but there we go. Says it's still sending. Yeah. So based on the Honey Heist system, Cocaine Owlbear is a tabletop role-playing game inspired by Cocaine Bear, a comedy film, blah, 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 blah. It's a tabletop RPG that takes inspiration. Okay, yes, we get that. Players take the role of woodland creatures who have gained sentience after ingesting some magical cocaine. Oh, that's great.
Cocaine.
With their newfound intelligence, the player characters decide to carry out a heist written on a piece of paper they pilfer from the owner of the cocaine. However, pulling off the heist won't be easy and will require the player stealing even more cocaine to ensure that they won't revert back to their ordinary animal forms. Boards and Swords does not endorse the use of cocaine.
In human or wildlife applications.
Yeah, exactly. It's based on Honey Heist, with the players having 2 core stats, cocaine and woodland creature. Oh my god. See, I keep seeing these things and it's just like, oh man. One-shots would be great.
This is so great. I love the whole you can choose a variety of animal types, including owlbear, ferret, raccoon, and unicorn. Cocaine unicorn.
Sorry,
I constantly stab people with my horn.
I got distracted by on the Dicebreaker page here. They link in all their various anything that's relative to this, and there's a video, and the woman's name is Maddie Cullen, and her Twitter tag is @NotTheVampire because her last name's Cullen. So I thought that was funny. Can they voluntarily move points back and forth between stats? But if all 6 stat points go into cocaine, the character betrays their fellow animals and fully dives into a life of crime. You could download it for $1 or more. All right, get out the credit card.
Right, $1.
This is a business purchase, right?
I say that qualifies. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, hang on. Do you want me to buy it? That way you're not inundated with the FBI. What are you doing buying stuff about cocaine, boy?
All right. On a very similar note, for this next story, if you can't make up on your mind whether or not to buy a house, does that make it a Waffle House? So here you go. Defend the last Waffle House standing against against a zombie apocalypse in this cheeky 2-page tabletop RPG. So literally, also based on things like Honey Heist, this game is called Cracker Barrel's Fallen. So why let a
So
little?
where does that? I wonder where does that fit in? Like Olympus has fallen, London has fallen.
That's the
Cracker
reboot.
Barrel
That's the reboot in 20 years. Cracker Barrel has fallen. Why let a little thing like the end of the world stop the local Waffle House from serving hot coffee and warm meals? That's one of the questions at the heart of the short and sweet tabletop RPG Cracker Barrel has fallen, a 2-page game that imagines life at a diner during a zombie apocalypse. Set in whatever southern U.S. town or suburb shopping district the players desire. Dang it! Now I need to play this too.
This is great. All right, let's go to the bottom. How much does it cost?
Where
Where is it? Where is it? Wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. There's a quote from FEMA director.
Well, no, they're talking about that they use that FEMA joked about, like they use the Waffle House index.
Oh yeah, to figure out how bad a disaster is. Yeah. Waffle House is closed. All right, everybody run.
Yeah. All right. It's a pay what you want digital download on its itch page. Although it's no longer June, so that the proceeds they were doing stuff to Trans Lifeline, but that part is not. But then again, we didn't have a show last week, so.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. There's another $2 of my money gone, or patron money gone. Okay. Man, I gotta tell you, my stomach's kind of cramping up. It's really hurting. I had a whole lot of sushi yesterday, and dim sum. So, Sushi Go spinoff fills the table with rotating steamer baskets and family-style dishes. So there was the card game Sushi Go. It's like one of the first one of these hobby games that I ever played. Like there was Settlers Catan, Ticket to Ride, and then Sushi Go was like right up there. Sushi Go and like Zombie Dice, because that was when Will Wheaton's Tabletop came out, and this was like one of the games on there. I had that for a while. I think I still actually have it. It's a great drafting game, where it's like you're trying to get sets of things, and so you take a card pass, and try and get the most points. Think like in Terraforming Mars, but just without the actual board game part.
Okay, yeah.
And then they came out with a second game that I bought recently. It came out like a couple years ago, but I just finally got it, called Sushi Dice, where you draft with dice instead of cards. And now they've got a new one called Sushi Go Spin Some Dim Sum. Is the latest title in what's become one of the most popular family board games. 2 to 6 players are still attempting to earn points by eating certain combinations of sushi and dished goodies, but instead of playing cards from a hand, each player will need to grab tokens from steamer baskets on a literal spinning table. I can't even speak right. So it's so cute. It's got a little lazy Susan.
That is kind of neat. I do that. Now, what is the thing in the middle?
I think it's a pudding.
Because it's got eyes and a nose.
Well, yeah, they're all cutesy things if you look at them. That's the part, is it's like cutesy little sushi.
Oh, it's the dumpling. You can see
the dumpling. There we go.
A little
That's
to the
what
right
it
of
is.
the pink. Yeah.
Yeah. Waffle Houses apparently used to not have locks on their front doors because they never closed. They had to start. Oh my God! They had to start installing locks because they needed to protect the integrity of the crime scene. That just goes to show you how often that is a thing. So
they should install a to-go window when that happens. That way, the booths are the crime scene, but then the food can still go out the side door. That'll help you out there.
I saw like our McDonald's had like they just did a bunch of like renovations and stuff. There's now like a to-go window on next to the front door, like some sort of sliding window thing. I'm like, who's using that instead of just the drive? But like it looks like no reason.
Yeah, I'm at if they had installed that in like
2020.
November of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, but this was
'Cause
like
that's
in
what
the
the,
past couple of months.
Because that's what the Texas Roadhouse did.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah, they
little
took
extra
away
side waiting area.
Yeah,
They're
the
like,
side
nope.
waiter. They're like, nope, this is our curbside now.
Put in a window curbside. Boom, which is great.
Yeah. But getting back to Sushi Go dim sum, this makes it more approachable for younger crowds without compromising the satisfying need of pulling off a tricky collection. They can either snag food printed on a wide disc or use their chopstick resource tokens, I think is what it says, to spin the table and select from a whole new array of plates. It definitely makes it more thematic, and I have to start looking at things like this because I'm starting to get nieces and nephew that are in the. I mean, one is 3 and one is 1, but still, they're getting there. All right.
I also like the thing at the bottom. The
which
Phil
one?
Walker Harding, the husband and wife venture of Joey Games.
Yes.
Sustainable board game studio. So like,
Yeah.
they're using wooden components wherever possible, skipping excessive packaging and wrapping.
Yeah. Phil Walker Harding's
good job,
done a
man.
whole bunch of different board games. Like he does like a lot of board games that like Colin and Cindy like. I know that they've done it. They used to talk about him a lot.
Okay.
For this next story, though, if you were to keep it to this tabletop coloring book to yourself, that would be Shellfish.
Ba-dum-ba-ba.
So, Shelf Care, a tabletop coloring book, now on Kickstarter. In celebration of gaming artistry, Violet Daisy Games and Dice Up Games have collaborated on a Kickstarter campaign for a tabletop game-themed coloring book. This book, called Shelf Care, a tabletop coloring book, features illustrations from 20 artists within the tabletop gaming community, with pledges currently standing at $4,000 of the US $5,500 till left to go. That was when this was published. What's that now?
18 days. So this was on the 1st. This was on the 29th.
It's got 14 days to go now. It looks like it's really just at the, like, look at the funding thing. There's like a little bit of a space there. Holy crap. This is like literally $40 away from funding. So $5,463 away from its $5,500 goal. So technically $37 away from funding.
$37 away.
Oh, Anna Maria Phelps. I didn't realize this. That's who Violet Daisy gave. She used to do the I forgot what it was called. Like it was like Geek Girl Gamers or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Just 2 more physical copies and they hit their goal.
Yeah, exactly. We have a McDonald's with the drive-through window by the front door entrance. The staff use it to send drive-through customers to wait for orders. That will take longer. Yeah, so that makes sense, but the window I'm talking about is on the other side of the it's like by the entrance of the drive-through, not the exit. Like, I know what he's saying, like, because that's like most McDonald's, the like spot number 1 is you just pull forward. But yeah, that part makes sense. But this is like on the other side of the building. I'm getting off on a tangent, but still.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get Shelf Care. Let's get that over.
2 more people. 2 more people. Back it, and then it'll be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Next up, if you score a perfect score in a dancing competition, were you attend dance? Like attendance?
I'm gonna leave that one up to the chat. Chat, what do you think about
like
that?
Perfect 10. All right, Origins Game Fair was like last week. Gamma reveals Origins 2023 numbers up 38% from last year, but still below pre-pandemic numbers. So 16,082 people from June 21st through 25th. So no, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before.
Yep.
Yeah, that weekend. This is up from last year's totals, which was 11,000. So yeah, that's a pretty big spike. Steady return towards pre-pandemic, but in 2019 it drew 20,000. So I put this in here just because, like, I'm starting to get the opinion that, and I think a lot of companies are starting to get this opinion where just Origins is just not worth it. So
I mean, I've never been to Origins. You
I have
though,
been
right?
to Origins. Yes.
Okay.
First of all, so I have to say this, that I know there are people that love Origins, but if you talk to anyone that loves Origins, they don't necessarily love the convention. They like the people that attend the said convention and where the convention is, because everyone talks about like the North Market, which is basically like the Reading Terminal in Philly, where it's just a bunch of like it's like a local food court type of a place. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one in Columbus. Columbus is a great city. It's a cool city. There's cool stuff there, and the people are cool. But the convention itself is just run so bad. You always hear people talking about how badly like the lines are. There was people, I saw some Reddits where they were talking about like the VIP that they were buying. Like there wasn't even any. They had like their own line for check-in, but like nobody was manning it, so they had to go into their normal line anyways. And these are people that paid like. Origins is what, 2,500 people? Oh man. But like, yeah, so like I just heard all these stories, and every year, and like when I've went and I've helped out like companies, they always talk trash about it because like it's just not organized very well, which go figure, it's run by Gamma, and Gamma kind of sucks at everything. But like you're not going to back crossbows and catapults?
I mean, like I'm here. I'm looking at the Kickstarter page.
Yeah.
700,000 of a $100,000 goal. 7 days to go.
Oh wow, it's almost done.
I'm gonna do the remind me,
and
we'll see how I feel when it reminds me.
There's specific reasons why I can't back it. I just already dropped a bunch of money on stuff, and also BattleTech. I just finally finished my backer kit pledge for that, because I upped from the $80 to the $280, which gets you like so much stuff. Like you get like $500 worth of free like product for like.
Oh yeah, all the extra kits you can.
Yeah. And so. So that's a nice a big dump of money I've had to spend recently.
I might start selling feet pics.
Rustabito says he'll buy your copy of Thunder Road Vendetta for $50 so you can back crossbows and catapults.
Bro.
So, but like. So you've also been more and more you see the biggest thing I've been telling with Origins is also that how slowly it's coming back. Like other stuff has been kind of slow to come back, but not as bad. Like it's just like, oh, maybe we're like 1,000 under what we. I mean, Gen Com's already kind of pushing what it could do, anyways.
Gosh, 60, 65 on the last one we went to.
I think it was like 72. Pre-pandemic, 2019. Because they were like, tickets were selling out. And granted, they haven't been since, but it's still like 65 to 70 still. Which percentage-wise is not that bad.
Yeah, it was 50, and it was 50 last year.
Oh, was it really?
That's what.
All right,
Google
maybe
just
my
popped
stats
up.
are completely off then, and this is just a thing. Maybe I'm just trying to make it seem like Origins is going badly, because I have a bias against just Gamma in general, because I feel like they just messing stuff up. But yeah, the people that attend are great. I've had terrific times at Origins. I just prefer to go to Gen Con for probably more for the podcast than. And that, and also our group of friends all love to go to Gen Con because of the amount of variety of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Whereas
Not
Origins
just in the convention center.
Origins is very board game only kind of focused.
Yeah, I mean Gen Con is
everything.
Everything. I mean,
there's Jedi yoga.
Yeah. If you can do it with friends, it's probably a Gen Con.
I mean, there is the burlesque show.
There is the burlesque show and the anime.
But I just keep seeing companies stop going to Origins, which I mean makes sense considering there's also I feel like they're too close together. Like the cons, they're just too close together. And the problem is there's just not enough time in the year because now that there's like a billion conventions everywhere. But like this year, Catalyst sent out a thing because they usually have a booth at Origins. Catalyst, the people that make BattleTech, which is how I found out about this. They sent out a note saying that they're not going to have a booth this year, but their demo team was going to be there to demo games, but they would not be selling product. Basically, it was too expensive, which also makes sense considering they just had a massive Kickstarter, so they may not have a whole lot, and maybe what they're saving for Gen Con. But the like Fantasy Flight and the Asmodee, they don't have like a big booth there like they do at Gen Con. But that's been that way for a little while. I think I honestly,
to be fair,
it's been 2018 since I've been to Origins. What?
To be fair, Fantasy Flight does not have a booth.
Yeah, that's true.
Fantasy Flight brings a brick and mortar store.
They don't even do that. They don't even do that anymore. Like
they used to did.
Last year was kind of weird because they had just bought, it was the first con since they bought Miniature Market. So there was a Miniature Market booth, and that was technically where you went. But like they didn't have a whole lot. It was very limited. And so, but they still had like they still had that huge space, but it was all demo stuff.
Okay,
But like the store part was not nearly as big as what it had been in a while, and it was a lot of older stuff. Not so much like stuff that had just come out like they usually do. Major vendors are dropping San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. There's some of that also because of the writer's strike. Because the people supporting the writer's strike kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So there's like a lot of actors and stuff are not going. So companies are kind of like, we don't really have anything to promote. So, all right. If you don't care about Warhammer, just plug your ears for a little bit because we're going to enter into the Warhammer section of the news here for a second. So, if 40k isn't mini enough for you, I've got something else now to show you, and that is epic scale Warhammer Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis. So, gaming on a new scale. Ooh. This is a new starter set game for epic scale, which is like a smaller size. So like, for instance, you can see here, like the Space Marines, you've got like 5 of them on like a 30 millimeter size base, and like you got the tanks are more kind of like matchbox car size. And then you've got the Titans in the back. Hey, other Phil's in there just in time for I said Warhammer, and suddenly Phil shows
and he appeared.
So it basically makes the Titans like the scale of those Imperial Knights that are back there.
Oh yeah. So this is at your Star Wars Armada scale.
Yes, compared to X-Wing, but like
compared to X-Wing. Yeah.
But so this just got revealed this past weekend. It's a new starter set that comes with a whole bunch of shit, as you can see here. Mixage of infantry, dreadnoughts, and tanks. 2 command squads with tiny banners and a Centurion level officer. Man, you see some of the pictures for these guys, and they're like highly detailed. Hold on, let me see.
Right.
Here we go. Let me pull this back out. You see, like the highly detailed at the low scale. It's crazy.
These are your paintbrush has 3 bristles.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of great stuff. It's for playing out large battles, but you don't have to take up 4 tables worth of stuff just to play like huge battles. But I gotta say, having just, even though I've bought Heresy, I've bought, you know, the new 40k stuff, I am kind of tempted to start saving for this box.
I was gonna say, is this why you can't back crossbows and catapults?
That and saving for Gen Con. But like, I got to thinking, I was like, this might actually be kind of cool because it's a different style of game than like, say, so 40k and Heresy are very similar scale and size. So it's basically just very similar games, not mechanically, but like the same kind of feel of game. It's just one's more Space Marine versus Space Marine, and the other can be whatever. Because it's like there are a couple of people that play Star Wars Legion, and I'm just kind of like, like it's a very like I like playing X-Wing because it's a very different type of game, whereas like just playing another, you know, minis on a map kind of game. Whereas this is different because you could play like large war type of thing. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is that the epic scale that they're using in here, the 6mm scale, is the same size scale that they use for their Adeptus Titanicus game and their Aeronautica Imperialis. Aeronautica Imperialis I have, and I have some of the minis for. And they even say, and you'd be like, oh, well, that's just a thing. But they even say down in the article, down here towards the bottom, if I scroll like way the way down, yeah, all your Adeptus Titanicus and Heresy relevant Aeronautica Imperialis miniatures can be used in Legions Imperialis thanks to rules and unit profiles found in the massive Legions Imperialis rulebook.
Nice.
So I've already got minis that I can use in this game, and like, you know, playing with Titans. I've actually been interested in learning Adeptus Titanicus just because, you know, you don't get to play with those huge Titan level things. Because if you're playing them in full scale 40k, they're like like the size of it. Like one of the guys that 3D printed one, he jokes about it being his toddler because it is like the size of a toddler. But that means I could go buy stuff that's already existing now for Adeptus Titanicus and then use it in this game because, you know, Heresy. And also, the one thing that's kept me from learning Adeptus Titanicus is A, nobody else around here plays it. And B, from what I've gathered, it's also very similar to BattleTech. So then you start getting into the games that are really similar.
Okay.
You know, where you have to worry about heat management and this and that and your reactor and firing arcs and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, I can just play BattleTech and pay a fraction of the cost. By the way, it's My Time Mondays, according to Phil.
Nice. My Time Monday. How about rum and coke work?
Sure. Let me go get. Let's see. I got amaretto Monday.
Oh, there you go.
Monday. So yeah, another new war game. This says it deploys in August, so maybe I will have to wait because that's going to be a little bit. Same scale as BattleTech, so could you repurpose the terrain? That is a good call. So what I'm hearing is you didn't give me BattleTech terrain, you got me Legions Imperialis terrain. Because I don't play the problem is I don't play the Alpha Strike that they use where you actually do like the terrain. And because in regular classic BattleTech, the terrain's already marked on the map. So you just use that and then I don't have to like put it out. But I'm still, it will get used one way or another. All right.
No Primaris lieutenants allowed.
Oh, because Primaris is like a new 40, like they just came out in 40k in the timeline wise.
Okay, gotcha. Just like the not Warhammer 40k preview.
Yeah, because this is like a week after everything 40k just came out. So
gotcha. No lieutenants allowed. This is the Warhammer E4 Mafia. Is that what this is?
Speaking of 40k, I put together. I bought a bunch of like scrap pieces and made and put together a model RC car. But I couldn't get it to work. Turns out I bought everything but the starter set. Oh no! So, the whole Leviathan box here came and went. Basically, hey, no, this isn't sidetrack. This is on a new story. If anything, you just sidetracked us. So, Leviathan came and went because they decided they're not going to keep making this. It's not going to be made to order. So, like, that first wave that came out, that's it. However, our local store, hightidegames.com, I think they still have, like, 5 to 10 boxes because they got, like, 50 of them. Like, here, I was going to talk about it later, but I'll go ahead and pull it up.
Oh, yeah, there's a stack.
They got a lot. And they sold like 35, 40 of them. And so they still had plenty. It was funny because like everybody was in there picking it up on that Saturday. I was like at the store when it opened. But there was some people like, it sucks because there'd be people like, I don't even know who you are picking this like stuff up. They like pick it up and leave. I'm like, play in the store. Like, we need more people playing in the store. But anyways, since they're not going to do that, they've got new starter sets coming out with the new edition. So you won't be able to get the Leviathan and the cool box stuff. But they got 3 new products coming here. You got the introductory set, the starter set, and then the ultimate starter set. So the introductory set, I wish this had been around last weekend because there was definitely, when we had people there learning, that were like curious about 40K and learning and stuff, they were like picking up boxes and like, oh, what about, do I get this? And then I'm just going to grab some random paints and stuff. And this has the paints in it.
It's got 5 paints in there.
Like
nippers,
literally, it's like,
a brush.
Where do I start? Here, take this. Everything you need.
It even says so at the top of the box.
Yeah.
Start here.
Yeah. Start here. It gives you 5 Infernus Marines, 10 Termagants, and a Ripper Swarm. All push fit, so you don't need any glue. Includes clippers, a starter brush, and 5 paints to get you started. Black, Wraithbone, Gold, Nagaroth Knight, and Macragge Blue. Making it the perfect intro for new Warhammer hobbyists. And then the introductory handbook offers hobby guides and background information for your new models. And then it's got a play per playing mat with walls, tokens, a range ruler, and 6 dice. So everything you need to kind of like fumble around and figure out how like a combat works.
Yep.
You're
I don't know, man. I'm looking at those dots. How are you supposed to know like if it's a 6 or a 9?
There's no dot on them.
There's no dot letting you know.
Yeah. Then you move up. You've got the other starter sets, the actual starter set. It's a middle ground. It's perfect for people who know what tabletop games are and are ready to supply their own hobby paints and tools, but not have played a game like 40K. This one, you get a starter handbook. You find 2 rules reference sheets, 10 dice, 2 range rulers, a cardboard gaming mat, not to mention 38. You got a Captain Terminator armor, 5 beefy Terminators, 5 Infernus Marines, and then a winged Tyrannid Prime, 3 Von Ryan's Leapers, a Psychophage, 20 Termagants, and 2 Very Hungry Ripper Swarms. And then you go with the Ultimate Starter Set, which is probably the same thing, but it comes with terrain. It contains everything you find in the starter set, as well as a Librarian and Terminator armor, which those are freaking awesome looking. 5 Barb Gaunts, topping both factions up to full combat patrol size. On top of that, it comes with an extra cardboard gaming board, an STC Hab bunker, and 8 stockades to create a fully featured battlefield to play on. So yeah, it comes with a couple extra minis and then some terrain. So really what you need to get started.
Yes.
And then still just like a 72-page ultimate handbook. It's not that ultimate because it's not the full rules. So that's kind of funny.
72 pages. I mean, that won't even get you all the way through the lore.
Yeah, I know, right? They literally have it in the book where they start numbering the pages and then they get to the core rules and stop and renumber the pages. They start from 1. Because it's the same core rules PDF that they released back at like the beginning of June. They just shove that PDF inside the other PDF basically. And then after those core rules, it goes back to the other page numbers. The
Just put an
Nakmun
R.
terrain that they couldn't sell. Yeah, pretty much. Part of me actually wants that terrain, though.
They should put an R in front of the rules. Rules page 1. Rules page 2.
Probably. Okay. Now for our next, almost there. This is our last 40k story, I promise, or Warhammer story. I decided to take up jousting as a sport. Turns out the key to that game is really in your balance.
It's a balance.
Hello. So 40k is broken already. So Warhammer 40k
Was
tourney
40k ever fixed?
Fair point. I've already fixed nearly 100 balance problems with 10th edition. So this is a funny story. So first of all, there's like all sorts of things that have come out. So even before the box had dropped and like the full core rules had come out, there was like a tournament. I want to say it was in Germany or something. That was they were like, okay, you can't play the Eldari faction is banned from being played in this tournament. And I was like, wow, they got the Leagues of Votan, because it turns out they have the new special mechanic they have are these like fate dice, and you can get more fate dice with different leaders, and the fate dice you roll them, and you can spend a fate dice to reroll all of them, and they get to be substituted as any die.
Oh,
so like you can just be like, oh, I'm just gonna auto hit here, and I'm gonna auto wound here, and oh, I didn't get enough 6s, and let me spend one fate dice to re-roll them all so that I can try and get 6s. So just a little bit, but like everyone's talking about how busted the Eldari are right now. So, but not only that, there was like another group, either another European country was just like, we're just gonna like ban 10th edition in general until Games Workshop fixes all their mistakes. And in the meantime, we've come up with their own rules. So a group of event organizers and competition level players formed a new rules review group ahead of the coming Munderschland GT and Bimble Clash to find what they claim were nearly 100 serious issues with publisher Games Workshop Mechanical Foundation. They played approximately 50 games of 40k using the 10th edition rules, which, granted, is probably more than what Games Workshop played, in order to develop a relatively small batch of house rules aimed at fixing or ameliorating most of the problems. Chief among those issues were balance problems that decided games as early as the second or third turn, when one army would crumble under the treads and rifles of their opponent. Other key issues included point cost distribution and stratagem for another faction's armies. Yeah, so basically, people were like, this game sucks. I'm making my own rules with booze and hookers. Yeah, we were talking about this at one of the...
So I was reading this thing. And it's, the expansion of Overwatch and the 10e rules meant opponents couldn't relax or step away from the table. Who's leaving?
Yeah. So this is, when people complain about like, man, this game's interactive to where I have to pay attention when it's not my turn. This game sucks.
Who's leaving the table?
People going to I would commonly go to the bathroom on my opponent's turns if I needed to pee. But yeah, yes, exactly.
I feel like that would, like me and you, we were playing X-Wing. And it's like, hey, I got to go hit the head, and we stop.
Yeah, but in a tournament.
Okay, yeah, you only got like what, 15 minutes?
You got to remember, the people that are focused, this is tournament level players. These are your grognards of grognards. Like, okay. One of the things 10th edition is very casual friendly, and that's the people that are getting the most upset. Those are the people that are just like, I have to play and be the best in the tournaments, and my faction isn't as bad. My faction sucks, so therefore we need to, be able to...
I got my ass handed to me in every single X-Wing tournament I played. It was the most fun I ever had.
I know, right? The only time I really hate it is
I never left the table.
Yeah. The only time I really like don't have fun playing 40k is when it's like there's no point in me standing there, like when it's predetermined, like somebody's playing just like a completely meta list where it's just designed to the nitpickiest level on how to be optimized to where it's like, no, doesn't matter what strategy I have, I'm not going to be able to defeat this person. And, you know, it's one of those like, why'd you even show up kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the times that I don't have fun playing 40K. So, Wargamer sources made it clear that the review group don't believe that Warhammer 40k's 10th edition rules are ready for serious competitive play. Now, granted, there are a ton of typos. Like in the data cards that came out, there's a lot of typos. There's a lot of omissions. So, like things that are like in the rules, like this unit should have this ability, but it's not printed on its card. But every like another faction that has that same unit has it printed on there, but it's not printed on this other faction. So feels like I'm in the chat, you know. I'm not talking about you. I bring you up as a reason where it's like you stop me in every game we play, but I still have fun playing against you. So it's very few. There are very few games of 40K I actually win. The win-loss ratio is very low. We're talking like my batting average would be like 0, or what is it? Batting average would be like 0.001. But yeah,
Dicebreaker has reached out for comment, but did not hear back before.
But yeah, so like there are a ton of problems with the stuff that's come out, and in fact, like they just released index cards. So they have all these printed indexes that you can go and print them out, and it's got all the data cards for all the different units. And this past Saturday, they released them in print. But like a lot of places aren't even buying them because like distributors are telling them that these things are going to be useless by the time we get to the end of the summer because there are so many things that have to be corrected that it's like you might as well wait for like the second edition of these cards or like the second printing of these cards before you get them in stock. On the plus side, they're only like $18. So that's actually a pretty good deal for...
In a comparison of like people could make, it's like never buy a brand new model year car.
Yeah. Don't update to a new version of Windows on day one.
That's like wait for everyone else to break it, get the fixes in place,
exactly,
and buy it.
All right, last piece of news here for you guys. We have this person gets to lord this ring over us now.
There can be only one.
Or I feel like I should have I should have pulled up the Willy Wonka and like, that's it. It's all over. It's like the news guy that's like, the show's over. It's all over. It's been found. The grade for the Magic the Gathering One Ring, 1 of 1. Not graded gem mint.
Not graded gem. Oh my God. I saw so many TikToks when this thing came out of, hey, Wizards, get your printing quality control in check. Okay.
Yeah. So Professional Sports Authenticator, PSA, a division of Collectors Universe, has revealed the grade given to the One Ring 1 of 1. The grade was revealed via their Twitter account. So soon after, the people that were giving up the $1 million prize or whatever, which I saw another story that was like Span had doubled it to like, there's a group in Spain that was offering $2 million.
Oh.
That they've revealed they've already given so not only has it been found, it's been given a grade. It's become a PSA Mint 9, which is a point shy of a coveted Mint 10, Gem Mint 10 grade. Indicates that the Pack Fresh card had one minor flaw or printer imperfection, which could potentially be with the foiling. So then does it say... Oh, I forgot to click on the one that has somebody's opened it. 8:44 a.m. on Friday. That Dave and Adam's card will publish the following tweet. We can confirm that the 1 of 1, the One Ring has been pulled. Stay tuned as details become available. So, the lucky fan, here guys, the lucky fan that pulled the card could also cash in on their offer or the Grima de Dragonlance $2 million offer. However, it's not the best news for retailers as one of the main attractions of the set is no longer available.
Which I mean, sales are going to be so down. Like, I mean, they should have Did they say they were like it was going to be in the first wave?
I don't know. But yeah, I would have totally like waited like a month before this even got thrown into the mix.
Yeah, 100%.
But I just want to know, like, my biggest question is it still worth $1 million? Like,
that's the thing.
Even though it's not PSA 10, because it's like, how mad would it be where it's like, I didn't even do anything? Yeah, you mean the only incentive? That's not the only incentive. If you like Lord of the Rings and you like Magic, that is an incentive. It's not a very good one, but like, it is an incentive.
Yeah, that's. I wonder. So going back with TikTok accounts, I saw a different company that does grading.
Mm-hmm.
They take PSA cards, they crack them out of the package, and they put them into some AI generated thing, and it scans the hell out of them. And it was actually showing the flaws.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like the scan was going through, and it showed like front corners, back corners, all this stuff, and the flaws were highlighting.
That's cool.
And, like, I want to know. Like, it got a 9 out of 10. I want to know where the flaw is.
They should have put it into the prize packs you get at gaming stores for participating in tournaments. They're going to give it away for free? No.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the store had to pay for the prize pack.
Sure. But yeah, that would have encouraged more people. That would encourage people to play in the tournaments. Yeah, that's called a smart idea. We're talking about Wizards of the Coast here. They're not exactly known for their smart ideas. So,
well, I mean, that also could have caused. Okay, you remember, maybe a couple years ago when somebody literally got shot over a Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Oh yeah, or the people that were getting shot over Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Okay. You want to put this? You want to put that card in a tournament pack?
Yeah. Right. I'm talking about like the store, like whatever. Okay. Point's not. That's why they teamed up with the GW. Yeah. That's because they're not smart. Yeah. So, I feel like I can't really talk to I can't really talk too much. I feel like about 10th edition here. Because like I've only played like 2 games of it.
Okay.
And that was basically I had a bunch of people here. Let's see if I can get this balanced on my head. There we go. So I had a bunch of people over for my birthday, and we played like big, huge. This is only one of them. There was another table set up. Like this whole basement we had like 6 or 7 people down here playing, trying out 10th edition. And just kind of like, because that was when the rules and the points and everything had come out, but the box hadn't. So we were playing with stuff we already had. So I had my Templars out, and I definitely like it. There's a bunch of cool. There's some great stuff about it, but you could definitely tell like there's some hard edges that need to be like sanded off. And apparently, yeah, I am free Wednesday or Thursday potentially this time. Phil's trying to get a game going. Sounds like. But I feel like I'm not going to be able to finish. I got to finish painting all these minis first. I want my minis to look cool. But, so...
Chris.
What?
You don't have to paint anything.
Shut up! They wouldn't sell the paint if you didn't have to paint it.
So that's a question. That's a question. So,
I was so happy.
How much extra would you pay for like the starter set box, the introductory set, if it was pre-painted?
I don't know, because like the people that paint those the people that paint the professional stuff, they do some pretty good jobs. But at the same time, it's also like to me, it's become very relaxing. Like I enjoy the painting just about as much as I do the gaming at this point. So, I mean, there is an incentive there. Yeah, fellow chat like, oh, no thanks. So, yeah, I started painting. I decided I was going to go with a new faction because, like, I've been playing Black Templars, but they they always say like don't play what's good, which Black Templars are really good right now with the way the rules are. And I just basically I'd wanted to play a Space Marine faction other than Grey Knights a while ago, and then our store had the Black Templars box on sale, so I'd bought that. So I'd been kind of like teasing playing them. I still didn't have enough army, and I was hoping to use the Leviathan to help complete that. And I started like, I don't know, just you'd be like, oh, play it for the lore, but I wasn't really liking the lore because like of, 40k is nothing but bad guys, right? Like there are no good factions in 40k.
Right.
But in a world of like fascists and racists, the Templars are like the most fascists and racist. So like you read their books and they're all like, we need to go purify the enemy. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I want this in my I don't think I want this in my free time, my relaxation. And I read,
so if we move these guys over to D&D, we just remove good from the scale.
yeah.
It's either neutral or evil.
Well, I mean, you could say that for all of 40k, but you would just remove neutral as well.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But
chaotic evil, lawful evil.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But so I read a book because one of the things that people are like, why do you play Black Templars? And everybody was recommending this book called Hell's Reach. It's about this battle that takes place on this world of Armageddon. It involves some characters I already had the minis for, a lot of stuff. So I had an Audible credit. I went and checked it out, and I saw that the book was written by this author, Aaron Dembski Bowden. And he is actually one of my favorite 40k authors. I really love the books that he has. And so I was like, great, this is perfect. I started reading it and I was like, when my favorite 40k author can't make these people sound appealing, like then it's like, all right, I'm just in the wrong faction here. Like yeah, like it's sure somebody may like them, but it's just not for me. So I decided, because what I do like reading is I've been reading a lot of like the Ultramarines, which are like your standard guys. Mm-hmm. Like the poster boy Space Marines that you always see painted up in the blue. So I was like, you know what? Nobody plays Ultramarines at the store, so I'm going to paint up Ultramarines. And as soon as I made that decision, like 3 people posted in the Discord that they were going to be painting Ultramarines.
You're just like, flip table.
Yeah. But like, so see, like this is like what my Terminators, one of them looks like right now. I managed to get one mostly done. But yeah, like I actually, this is the first time instead of following a guide directly, because usually what I'll do is I'll look up a guide of like how to paint blah blah blah, and then I'll just kind of follow it as much as I can with my skills. Mm-hmm. This was the first time I kind of like, well, let me take some of those and kind of like put them together and kind of like create something, which I usually don't do because I suck at it. But it kind of, I had some bumps and bruises along the way, but I got something that works. So it's really cool. I'll put these, I'll try and put them in the, I'll put them in the thumbnail for on the blog post. So if you guys see it, boardandswords.com/blog/BS220. So what I did is I took a very dark blue, which you can kind of see it down here in some of the recesses. I took a dark blue and I did a dry brush over the entire model. So if you look in the deep recesses, you can still see some black along the edges that didn't. So like I primed it black and then I dry brushed this dark blue on it. So you still get this kind of like, you start to get a fade going between the blue and the black. And then I basically took a dry brush with a light blue and like sprayed it at an angle for like representing the light.
Oh,
and so you start to get this even bigger fade kind of going here. You can see it, you can really see it on the shoulder pad. Like right here, like this isn't shadow. This isn't like the shadow of the light. Like that's what the model kind of looks like, is that kind of like shadow of the dark blue kind of transitioning into the lighter blue. Like, yes, there's a little bit of shadow from the light on here, but it's not, there's a lot more than that in there. Or I guess I should point on it on this on here so you can see it as well. I'm pointing to it on OBS instead of on. So, and then I just like touched it up with a bunch of different stuff. But yeah, so really happy. I've got like a lot of these touches done. So there's like 10 termies because I got 2 packs of the Space Marines because me and somebody else bought a Leviathan box and I gave him all my Tyranids and he gave me all his Space Marines. So I have double what came in the Space Marine box. So I have 10 of these total, and I've gotten about I think like 4 of them, like Phil said in there, to this level, and or 4 to 6 of them this level, and then there's a handful that are almost to the same thing. I think there might be a few more other touch-ups. Then I got to figure out what I'm doing with the base. Like, I got to put something on to do something for the basing, and I don't know what to do because the past couple of times I've done basing, I've just not been happy with it. So I need to find something new to do that kind of like matches the rest of the model, like as far as like quality, and doesn't look like I just slapped something together on the base. But is that the last? Yeah, that's the last picture there. So yeah, I've been having fun with the 40K. I might have to have, once I have some other games of it, may have to have somebody else on here that plays so that we can talk back and forth about it. Also bought the BattleTech Essentials box from Target. Mainly because like there's some new rules in here about like arena fights that I thought would be cool. And also I just wanted the special minis. And there was a $20 Catalyst Game Labs certificate in here, which I totally used. I totally used to buy this like Premier Mad Cat figure. Let's see. I should probably pull that up. While I pull that up, Philip, why don't you tell people about our Patreon?
Patreon.com/boards-and-swords, boards-and-swords.com/Patreon. Both links will get you to where you want to go. All right. And it'll get you where you need to go. Okay. You're going to help support this podcast, and you're going to get some goodies in return. First off, you're going to get access to the bonus bits. All right. That's where Chris and I, we sit and just, shoot the breeze before and after the show. You get to hear all the stuff, what we did during the show, what we might do the next show. You'll get access to, actually is the off week, is that for everybody?
That's for everybody.
Okay, so the oddball stream, that's for everybody, but there might be bonus bits on the oddball stream too. You never know. If you back, and that's when you back just at the singular dollar level, you get access to that, which is great content no matter what. You start backing at higher levels, and then you get access to Chris is going to dad joke up your favorite games. It is going to be the best, worst time of your life. You're going to laugh and tell these jokes to all your friends. You back a little higher, you get access to a Boards and Swords D6. Okay?
Well, that's the same level as the $5 level for the
That's the same level as a dad joke, guys.
It's the same level as a dad
joke.
jokes.
2 for 1. It's so amazing. And then if we can get up to where we are $50 a month, okay, it's a little late in the year, but you are going to get
It's never too late for love.
It is never too late for love. You're going to get a live play of Love Mutants of Castle Heartache. And Chris, can you throw that beautiful image up on the screen for the people to see? Okay, I want everyone to know I posed for this. It was amazing.
Someone's going to think that we're serious.
Okay, I mean, even better. Okay, boom, I posed for that. It was a great photo shoot. All right, she's a very lovely model, and that's what you get when you head to patreon.com/boards-and-swords, boards-and-swords.com/Patreon.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have I have not sent out dice because I've been letting the bank account pull up a little bit so I can afford all those shipping charges for sending out the die. Because back when I was doing Restream and was paying for like Adobe and stuff, it was basically what we came in was immediately going out.
Who pays for Adobe?
I was.
I'm sorry.
For a while.
Who said that? Who said that?
I was for a while until I got Rusty Beetle actually in the chat pointed me to like a Humble Bundle that was a bunch of like video and audio stuff that I got for like $20, and it was like $500 worth of like production software.
Always pay for your content.
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much. So let's see. Host 40K was talking about the BattleTech box. This was $25. $25 at your local Target. And I believe it is the Centurion and the Rifleman is what it comes with. Yeah, they still got the thing wrong. It still says Thunderbolt and Wolverine on here. from
Where?
the
the mini
like
spawn.
the mechs in the picture or in the cards, the card pictures are still wrong. But the mini picture is still right. They still have the minis here. Just ignore this right here. But yeah, it's got the mech warriors for Gray Notion and Justin, Zhang, Allard, which there's like, if you know the lore, these are big thing. Like this is the Solaris 7 arena, which is a big piece of the BattleTech lore. So that was kind of, everybody was excited for it. So I was like, oh, cool. And I'm going to support this thing in there. So this is what I spent my $20 off thing on. It's a BattleTech Timberwolf premium miniature. So it comes unassembled and unpainted. So it comes with posable arms.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you get to like pose it in all sorts of different positions. Plus it just looks, oh my God, that is sexy right there.
That is a very nice looking mech. Do any of the mechs have hands?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can see here. Let me go. I'm gonna go full screen on this. But you can see in the distance here, he's kind of got like Wolverine claws and like a little fist. I don't know if you can actually see that, but yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. Yeah.
And there's one that's called the Axeman, where he has like an axe in he's like holding an axe.
Oh, okay. So he could like throw it.
Yeah. But so that's like stuff I've done recently. Ooh, that's a nice look. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's a nice look. That's a nice looking mech right there. I tell you what. But before we get to I do have a game for us.
All right.
But I've been kind of, we're getting to Gen Con time, and so I'm looking at my stack of like review stuff because, during the year things happen, we get busy. And I'm trying to like whittle it down before we get to there, actually. So one of the things I have to review, so we're just going to do like a quick review here, is we've got Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen here. They came actually with 3 copies of this book.
Wow.
They came, so this is like the fancy like game store only version that you usually get. These are the ones I usually give away. And then there's the one that you have, which is like the generic one. And then
one here.
This year or this time
it disappeared. That's hilarious.
So this time, along with the 2 books that they sent, they also sent the Dragonlance collector's box, which when you open it up, that comes with the board game, The Warriors of Krynn, that they talk about a bunch. But it also came with this new like different deluxe where it looks like the regular version, but it's like a foil cover. And I was like,
that's wicked.
I was like, okay, I'm keeping that one then. Because I usually keep this style so that they all look like the OCD part of me when I started. Because I didn't know they were going to keep doing all these different special covers when they first started doing it. So I was like, well, I have all the other books this way, so I need to keep these. And then now I just do, and I give it away because, for the people.
Exactly.
So... Dragonlance, if you're Beetle, you've probably played Dragonlance before. It's a special setting. I know nothing about the history of the setting as far as like what it was in previous editions versus now. So I can only tell you about like what the status of the world is now, where it's basically there was this big, huge cataclysm that kind of destroyed a bunch of stuff and like drove a lot of like dwarves went underground, and a lot of like the elves like now are just stay in their forests, and some people, there's like factions that are hated because it's like you could have stopped this cataclysm and you didn't. And then afterwards, basically, I don't remember, it was like Takris, is that her name?
Sounds like this other world where they craft war a bunch. Cataclysm.
There are dragons in that too.
There are dragons.
But what was it? So it's Tiamat, which I thought was funny because I did not realize that was the shadow, the Dragon Queen referred to in here.
Oh,
but
yeah,
but
like,
Tiamat, but it's her name here is like Takris.
Let me flip to it because it's like it's page 2. Okay, so page 5. Yeah, it's on page 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dragon Queen Takesis,
Takesis,
known as Tiamat on other worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm wondering if this is like, I like to think canon wise because this is supposed to be like another world in the multiverse or in the that just Tiamat got out in another place. Like she failed in her other quests, so then she got out in Dragonlance. Like that's my, I don't know if that's the official story, but it was like, well, I failed on
makes sense.
I failed on Torval, so let me, on Kryn instead, and then you get Dragonlance, and the Dragonlances were basically lances that were blessed by some of the gods, and they do like extra damage against dragons. That's like the again, I don't have the backstory and history, so this is kind of like the drunken history version of
my experience with Dragonlance.
Oh, it's on the back cover. We could have just looked on the back cover.
Oh, we could have done that too. Look at that. My experience with Dragonlance stops at the book.
Oh yeah, it was a
Dragons
very popular.
of Autumn Twilight.
There was a lot of books.
Yeah. Written by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
That sounds right. Yeah. They Dragon.
So this is an adventure that goes from 1st to 11th level. It gives you all the back. You get like the first chapter is all like the backstory and character options that you can use to kind of like make your characters more in tune with this setting and stuff. And then it just kind of goes out. Overall, I will say, just kind of like bottom line up front, it is a very typical D&D adventure. Like it's got your various points. I will say, to me, it was like, this is what the Tyranny of Dragons, that module that I hate so much, this is what it should have been. Like this has a lot of the same beats in it, but in a way that actually sounds like it would be fun to play.
Okay.
Like there was, hey, Philip, remember there was a floating castle? There was like a cult, and there was, the drag. I guess although I don't know if you actually get, I forgot. I don't think you actually get to fight Takesis in this book like you do there. Although it does also feel like a part 1. This book felt like a part 1.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. Which, Shadow of the Dragon Queen.
But it goes to 11th, so that would be a really weird like bit.
Well, what did those? It went from like what 1 to 8 and 9
you're
to 15?
right. So I think that they did that kind of like it is a self-contained story, but it also feels like a part 1 to where you've got enough here that you could then do the other half of the story yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's what they were kind of going with it.
Heck, they might even put out a second book to have like a 12 to 18.
Yeah, maybe. I will say, so what I can't, like I said, it's a good adventure. So it's a good and solid adventure from what I saw. It's not a kind of rinse and repeat, but it is kind of stereotypical. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to fit, but there is a lot of tools in here for, how to spice things up and add characters, backstory bits, and tie in characters to make NPCs more dramatic, that sort of thing. The one big aspect about this, that they talk in a bunch is there's this board game, and that was what came with this collector's box. So there's a board game called Dragonlance Warriors of Kryn, and it's basically a way to play out mass battles, like huge battles.
Okay.
In D&D. So it's got scenarios that are very specific to, so basically it's kind of like a campaign game where you like, okay, and you get to a point in the book and it's like for this battle, you can either run the scenario that's dictated here or go play scenario 1 on the Warriors of Kryn board game.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. And what it is, I did some look. I haven't played the board game. I just did some kind of reviews and looking up on it. It's very kind of generic, and it's kind of like it's a co-op game, 1 versus all. So the DM has to kind of run the board, and you have to kind of like work together to do a bunch of different action. You have like 4 actions on a turn, and you're trying to stop things, but you can't do everything. So you have to make like some sacrifices. Like, oh no, if we need to succeed, it means those people over there are gonna die. Which I mean is realistic, in the war. But so, because how it would be very hard to model like a big war scale kind of thing in, D&D. It's kind of hard to do that because it's so single character focused. Like you could probably do it if you maybe zoomed out and each character was like a platoon.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a way of doing it. But it seemed like an idea. The only thing is everybody complained that the board game quality was terrible. Like really cheap components, very flimsy like paper and cardboard and stuff. So I almost feel like the board game could have been a way of like, I kind of like that idea of like, pause here, we're going to do this instead. It's like a cutscene, except for we're going to transition to the board game and play the board game, and then we'll transition back. So I almost feel like they need like a standalone game and then just like a scenario pack. Like you buy this box, so you pay $60 for the D&D board game box that just has like all the generic components in it, and then maybe like for the first like a starter kind of adventure thing, so it could be played on its own. And then it's like, okay, Dragonlance, we're gonna have these big fights in it, so we're gonna sell a Dragonlance box that has all the Dragonlance specific story and components and setting stuff. And then like, okay, well now we're gonna do whatever the next setting is, say it's Ravnica or whatever, and we'll sell a Ravnica box, and that way you can keep the cost down per se, and also reuse it and just like the board game rules don't change aside from like maybe campaign specific ones.
Specific.
I feel like that could have been a cool way of doing it. But if you like dragons, you definitely got to get a bit of dragons. I think there is some dragon writing at some point in here. On
this book, there's a dude.
It depends on. It depends. Yeah, that's the bad guys.
That's a lich.
Yeah, it depends on. It depends on how your character the story beats. But there is some paths that involve potentially hijacking some dragons to ride.
The one thing I didn't look up: can I be a gnome barbarian?
Well, I mean, yes. Like it doesn't restrict what you can play. It just gives you like, it's just like, oh, here's the ones that are more adept to the setting.
Right. Well, hang on, because there was a languages page. Character creation. There are gnomes. Yes. Gnome barbarian.
Nice. Yeah, an ancient evil in the Dragon Queen's service seeks a magical weapon that could dominate Kryn for all time. Only the defenders of the city of Kalaman stand in their way.
Sounds like the plot of the first D&D movie.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking like this does have like a very epic fantasy kind of tale to it, whereas a lot of D&D doesn't. Where a lot of D&D stories are very like focused in on things. Like there are stories where like there's big impacts to the world or whatever, but sometimes there aren't. Whereas this definitely does have like the kind of feel of a Lord of the Rings, or actually when I finished reading the book, I kind of walked away with like a fantasy Final Fantasy vibe.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's that kind of vibe was kind of what I was going at, but I couldn't tell. That's the problem, is I couldn't tell you why. Just kind of the relation to the defending the city, and then kind of you get hired into the militia, and then kind of going about and like, oh, we need to stop these people, and everyone's like, no, we don't think so. We need to do this, and it's like, well, we're gonna go figure it out anyways. So there was just that kind of vibe. So what were your thoughts and opinions, Philip?
So does either of your copies have a map in the back?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. So it's neat that there's a map in the back.
Yeah.
With Tiamat in the corner. It looks like it would be something fun to run. I can see the similarities to the Tyranny of Dragons.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting, but yeah, it does have that very feeling of we're missing something.
Like at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there is a good there's a good conclusion, but then when they kind of like the after the conclusion, there's like a to be continued kind of piece, and then there's nothing. There's not even a more to come in this book, or the Avengers will return in. And I mean, it would be better like if there was I guess there was kind of a note as like, feel free to take it on from here, but it's like, no, I want some like I paid for this book.
Yeah.
Like if you paid, $60 to whatever dollars for these books, like there at least give me like an outline, something to go off of.
One of the things, and when I first read Dragons of Autumn Twilight, the way wizards classify themselves, that was something I found interesting. So like your quote unquote good wizards are wearing white, your quote unquote evil wizards are wearing black, but then your neutral wizards,
are wearing the red.
They run around wearing red. And I'm just like,
which is funny because if you look like the red wizards of Thay from the you're just like, wait,
like, those are bad guys.
And that's cool because there's even pieces in there like for you to join, like there's little side quests that you can do. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there. So if you want like a really epic kind of fantasy tale that's got like kind of the big pieces, I think this is going to be a really a cool adventure to run, especially like I said with the board game, you get that kind of epic combat, and then we're going to shrink back down to how does it affect our characters kind of piece. So I would definitely recommend if you can get the version with the board game, sure, if you can afford it, then I would definitely spring for that. Although it's probably going to be one of those things like you might be able to get it used when somebody else finishes with the game.
Yeah.
So that might be, I don't know how much you like if you have to destroy quote unquote stuff, but we'll see. I have, like I said, I'll be giving away the collector's version here. I got to figure out what I want to do for it. I think I'm going to start like a giveaway page where it's just like boardsandswords.com/giveaway or something, or contest, where, cause there's sites out there that like you gain an entry if you follow us on YouTube, or subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. You get like a different entry for each one. I want to do something like that.
Comment on 3 of our latest posts.
Yeah. And it automatically tallies it, so I don't have to keep scrolling through each individual post.
Yeah.
So Philip, I got a game for us to kind of finish off the show here. So I thought dragons. This is actually, we're playing this is round
Dragon
2.
D's. No, sorry.
We're playing round 2 of actual versus AI.
Okay.
And I got to think, this was actually what got me thinking about, because we were going to do this episode a couple weeks ago, and neither of us got to the book.
Nope.
But the original incarnation for this game was this, because I was like, dragons. You know what else has a lot of dragons? Yu-Gi-Oh! So I've come up with 5 sets of cards, and then I also made the AI, like I literally copied and pasted all the dragons into like a spreadsheet, and then found out it was too many characters for ChatGPT. So I had to kind of like, basically I just randomized and pulled like 10 out, and then just did like, here, make 10 just like these.
ChatGPT has a limit?
Well, there's like a character limit on what you can type in.
Oh, okay.
There's like a 6,000 character limit, and there's like 600 something dragon cards. So here we go. Philip does not know, is probably not going to know some of these, so we'll see. And I've actually got the buttons now working so that we can get here. So here we go. Which one of these is actual and which one of these is the AI? So first up, we've got Zephyr, Dragon Ruler of Storms, or Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders.
Redox is fake.
Redox is fake. All right. So that is a... All right, let me actually... I was in the middle of copying it. Dang it. I need a better way of doing this. Yeah, Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders, is an actual card. It is an effect monster. It's an earth type. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish 2 earth or dragon monsters. little symbol comes up, has the like attack and defense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a nix on that one. Next up, you have Master Chaos, the true Draco Overlord, or Master Peace, the true Draco Slayer.
I'm going to go with Slayer is fake.
Slayer is fake. We found that like basically ChatGPT can fool Philip, because Masterpiece, the true Draco Slayer, is the real card. It is a light dragon, cannot be normal summoned or set. To level 8. I thought that I had to be careful because I thought the Draco Overlord was going to throw you off and be like, oh, that's clearly fake. All right, next up. We got some eyes in here. We got the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon or the Red Eyes Inferno Dragon. Which one is the actual card?
Red Eyes is the actual card.
Red Eyes is the actual card. That is because Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon is the actual card. It's a light effect monster, level 8. You can only activate. Hey, look, it even uses Blue Eyes White Dragon is on the field or in your graveyard. All right, almost done here. Galaxy Stealth Dragon or Galaxy Burst Dragon? Which one is the actual card?
Burst.
Burst Dragon is the actual card. Galaxy Stealth Dragon is the actual card. That just means that these names are just crazy in the beginning with. All right, this is an XYZ or XZs is what they call them. XZs monster. Dark level 4. I keep forgetting to go to the computer screen. All right, last one here, Philip. All right, for all the marbles. Guardian of the Shrine or Keeper of the Shrine?
Guardian of the Shrine.
0 for 5. That is amazing. That's both times you always seem to pick the computer one. Keeper of the Shrine is the actual card. It's a dragon, level 4, 0 attack. Can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a dragon type monster. So there you go. So once again, we found out that ChatGPT can fool Phil Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this button because that's all I got. That's all I got.
That's been our show, everybody. If you like what we're doing, you gotta check us out at boardsandswords.com/live. You're gonna find out when we're streaming and what sites we're streaming on. Boardsandswords.com, just boardsandswords.com. It's got links to all the other stuff we have done, we might do again. It also has links to all of the other channels that used to happen. What did we used to have there, Chris? We had.
We have our feedback at boardsandswords.com where you can send us feedback. We got Facebook at Boards and Swords Pod. We've got Instagram at Boards and Swords Chris. Twitter is the one I really don't use now, and that's at Boards and Swords. And all of these are at boardsandswords.com for links to everything else, like our Patreon. Check it out to help support the show. And we'll be back in 1 week, actually, because we got off. We skipped a week, so we'll be back next week. Probably not as much news, since it'll only be a week time frame. But we'll be back in another week with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and tomorrow the story is going to be revolving around blowing stuff up with our mind. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. That's it. The show's over. Hold on. Before I kill the before I kill the stream, I have to find that video. The Willy Wonka one.
Oh yeah.
No. All right, let's see here. Trying to do. See if dang. I'm not quickly finding it. That sucks. I'll have to find it. I don't have to, but I might. We'll see. All right. Good night, everybody.
I got it.
Oh, you do?
Yep. I'm gonna put it in here. How do I? Where's our chat in here?
In where?
Open chat. There we go. In the recording channel on Discord.
Oh, okay. There's a chat in here?
Yeah. Right click on
Oh,
recording.
I
and
see it
have
now.
open.
Show chat. Ah, crap. It's like opening Chrome. Instead, I thought it would.
Golden tickets, like 5 lucky bolts of lightning ready to strike without notice at any point on the map. No one knew where, no one knew when the first one would hit. But as you all know, last night we got our answer.
Oh, this isn't the one.
The first golden ticket
What do you mean it's
was
not the
found in
one?
the small town
Nah,
of
this is the one where, like, when the fifth one's found, and it turns out it was fake, and he's like, "That's it. It's all over."
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. Well, I typed in Willy Wonka, comma, news broadcast, comma, last ticket found.
Yeah, it just brings up the Charlie finds the last ticket. Oh man, the remember the computer?
When you're
All right.
launching a new product with a tight deadline,
Seriously?
The men who seek them become...
The revolutionary Computonian law of probability, this machine will tell us the precise location of the 3 remaining golden tickets.
Oh man, I remember that. All right, we'll probably, if I play anymore, we'll probably get yelled at.
We'll get struck.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna stop.